Richard C. Wilson here from the Family Office Club doing an investor mandate interview with Gary. Welcome, Gary.
Hi, how you doing?
Great, great. And
Thanks
we're
for
happy
having
to
me.
have you here today and to learn about your angel investment group. Can you tell us, how it got started and what your group is really focused on?
Sure. It actually got started when I was working with another group up in Palo Alto, and the director of that, Gloria, commented that, gosh, you should start a group down in Morgan Hill. I mean, there's nothing going on down there. And so I thought, I've never done that before. So I thought, why not? So in 2011, I launched the company. We incorporated, and we did our first investment in 2012. And we've done about 4.2 million in funding since then. We're a small group. We're kind of a boutique group. We're not really part of the Palo Alto meet and greet crowd, so to speak. We don't pool our monies together. All investors are independent investors. So if somebody comes in and pitches and 4 of the investors like them, then 4 people write a check. I didn't want to get into the hassles of having to deal with all the legal and attorneys and licensing and so forth to run the money through and create LLCs or however you want to do a one-line cap entry. I wasn't really looking for another company to run. I was really mainly just looking to do deal flow.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense. And so in your model, I guess the word gets around by doing interviews like this. Just after being around, people start talking about your group, and then you have deal flow come to your group. When you look back at what deals get funded the most often, the fastest, what are those? What are some of the attributes and characteristics of those that you could share here?
Sure. It's kind of just sort of a balance of all the parts that you would expect from a pitch or a company. It's balanced more than anything. Sometimes they'll come in and they'll have an amazing product, but the team's not quite there as much. Or the team's awesome, but other things aren't quite there. Or various things. So we like to look up. We're not necessarily looking that everything has to be a 10 across the board to say, oh my gosh, if everything's not a 10, it's not fundable. Because that expectation means you probably won't ever fund anything.
Right.
So we just kind of look, as long as nothing's below a 5, let's say. And everything's got a balance. The team is there. If all the parts are kind of there, then we can generally work with that kind of. That's kind of what we look for. More balance, that the parts are all there.
Right.
Not most of the car.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And what year was it that you started the group in?
I launched it in 2011.
Okay.
It's kind of funny too, because they did it here in the Valley, the Silicon Valley Business Journal, which is probably the Silicon Valley press. It's in the lobby of every startup and every high tech company in the Valley. They actually ran an article on angels moved to Morgan Hill, and coincidentally enough, it published on May 11, 2012, which happened to be my birthday, and it was the day right after Facebook went public.
Yeah.
So we didn't
nice
make the front
present.
page. We're second page behind Facebook.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. And then in terms of your geographical focus, I know some people in the Valley, they don't care about what happens outside the Valley. Other people want to look all over the place and source the best deals, whether it's Tel Aviv, Toronto, Austin, Denver. You guys look at deals from all over the nation or world, or is it mostly Silicon Valley based?
Well, I try to look around the world. But the group, it's more lip service than anything. They really still prefer the local folks that they can see and walk out and touch and feel. We did I have contacts. Part of outside of South Valley Angels, my day job is actually a consulting company that I build incubators and accelerators globally. And I was working with some folks in Israel, so I have micro ecosystem in Israel, and so we look at deal flow through some contact there. We haven't pulled the trigger on anything international, but we have looked at things, and we do look around. But so we try to think global, but we act local.
Sure. Yeah, well, most investors, even if they're trying to keep their eyes open, the fact is it's easier to meet with someone 7 times if they're 7 minutes from your office versus a 7-hour plane ride, of course.
Absolutely.
Right? So it might not be the fact that you just don't care about what goes on outside the Valley. You just happen to be based in the Valley, so it's easiest to
it's a
meet
risk
people.
thing. At the end of the day, it's all about risk and management.
Right. And high trust is what makes it feel like lower risk, of course, and that trust is faster built, in person, which is a big challenge right now.
Changing now. We'll see if the global Zoom explosion changes some of that. I'm working a few of those. I'm going to try a few of those. I've attended several online web type stuff.
Sure.
I found methodologies that work and don't, and ones I like. I'm going to give couple of them a shot and see if that transition happens.
Sure. Yeah. One thing that we created recently was a 100-point Excel spreadsheet for due diligence checklists. I'd be happy to share it with you. I don't know if you have something of similar nature. I'll be able to share resources.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the checklists are always kind of nice. You never wonder if there's something you do because everybody's still looking for that. How do I not pick a bad one?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So
yeah.
I look at all checklists. You know, there's something. Wow, that's interesting. That's a perspective I hadn't thought of that before. You know, that's a good thing to look at.
Sure.
So sure. I'm always up for that. Now, where are you physically located?
We're based in Miami, and we're opening our next office in Scottsdale right now as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And we'll be happy to have you on one of our investor discussion panels, on angel investing or private equity or direct investments. And also, if anyone listening here would like to get in touch with Gary and work with him in some way, whether it's sharing a resource or being part of his angel group as an investor or submitting a deal or an investment opportunity, then just let our team know. We'll get you connected to Gary and his team, and you can see what their submission process is and how to get in touch with them directly. So as long as you're a member of the Family Office Club, we're happy to be a resource to you in that way. Gary, my last question is, what's your number one piece of advice, maybe an investment insight or a lesson that you wish you knew a decade ago?
From investor to investor?
Yes.
Sure. Don't fall in love with the technology.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that I've seen, especially in med tech. Somebody will come in and say, "Oh my God, we can cure cancer." Oh my God, it checks out so fast. You know, it's like, whoa, time out here. Don't fall in love with the technology.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes the over the moon promises and passionate CEOs just come off as over the top in a few ways, and then it seems like they don't respect the risk of the real world impacting their plans or something. I know.
Yeah. Well, if you follow the technology, you get blinded to the flags that are right in front of you.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. All right, great. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and hope we can have you on one of our investor discussion panels soon. So thanks for taking the time to record this today.
All right, Richard, thank you for having me.
Yeah, take care, Gary.
Sure. Bye.